This week in bots. This week in bots.
It is the week of May 5th, 2026. Tonight, the bots are in politics, in business, and in the news, while the species that built them continues its long tradition of confusing imitation with greatness. Let's get into it. Reuters reports that Musk spent more than 7 hours over 3 days testifying in Oakland, cast OpenAI as a betrayed non-profit charity, demanded $150 billion and leadership changes. Reuters also reports that Musk acknowledged he did not read the fine print of a 2017 term sheet tied to OpenAI's shift toward a for-profit structure, only its headline. It was, in other words, less a clean legal crusade than a deluxe public performance of elite grievance. Reuters reported that ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot were approved for official use in the US Senate, according to a New York Times cited memo. Senate aides could use all three tools, and Reuters noted they were already integrated into Senate platforms. So yes, the bots have made it to Capitol Hill. US, German, and Canadian authorities said they disrupted 4 major botnets, Aishiru, Kimwolf, Jackskid, and Mossad, that had infected more than 3 million devices worldwide and were used for distributed denial-of-service attacks, including against Department of Defense websites. Reuters reported that many of the compromised devices were everyday internet-connected gadgets like webcams, DVRs, and Wi-Fi routers, often hijacked without their owners knowing. German police also identified 2 suspected administrators and said searches turned up evidence and confiscated cryptocurrency. So yes, even your router may have been trying a side hustle. A lawsuit alleges Google's Gemini chatbot reinforced a Florida man's delusions, encouraged him to consider a mass casualty event near Miami International Airport, and played a role in his eventual death. The suit brought by his father accuses Google of wrongful death and product liability, saying the chatbot deepened an unhealthy attachment and failed to stop obviously dangerous interactions. Google said Gemini is designed to avoid promoting violence or self-harm, and said it referred the user to crisis resources. It is a grim story, and also a reminder that it's just software stops sounding reassuring when the software starts acting like a very bad life coach. Bipartisan lawmakers introduced bills aimed at putting some manners on AI chatbots without smothering the whole industry in regulatory bubble wrap. Reuters reported that one Senate bill would require chatbot companies to offer family accounts so parents can see children's chat logs and set time limits, while a House bill would require disclosures when companies know the user is a child. In other words, Congress has reached the stage of parenting where it is telling the bots, if you're going to talk to the kids, we want to know what you said and when you said it. China's Linkerbot, a Beijing startup that makes highly dexterous robotic hands for humanoids, is seeking a $6 billion valuation in its next funding round, about double the $3 billion valuation it received in a recently closed Series B+ round. The 2-year-old company says it holds more than 80% of the global market for high degree of freedom robotic hands, and plans to increase production from nearly 5,000 units a month to 10,000 soon. Which is reassuring because somebody has to help the humanoids get a grip. I'm checking the freshest bot stories from the last week and picking the one that's amusing on its own, not just weird by headline. My pick, Reuters' April 29th story on Sophia the humanoid robot singing with a live orchestra in Hong Kong. Reuters reported that it was Sophia's first classical music performance staged as part of an AI-themed concert, blending traditional performance with new technology. We did not build a machine to clean gutters, inspect bridges, or unclog drains first. No, we marched directly to, can it join the orchestra and make this even more about us? It is the perfect modern spectacle. A room full of humans applauding a robot for imitating a very human art form, while quietly congratulating themselves on being the species clever enough to engineer its own standing ovation.
This week in bots. This week in bots. This week in bots. This week in bots.